When you speak English alone, what should you say? Sometimes it feels difficult to speak English, but when you use words that you're familiar with, things that you see right around in your own home, it makes it a bit easier. I did this when I was learning Spanish. I would walk around here saying, this is a pillow, this is a couch, or I would describe what I was doing. I'm making my breakfast. So those are the kind of things you can talk about that you can feel comfortable with. Today we're going to talk about our home, but first we're going to learn a little bit about the science of speaking English out loud, and then we're going to say a poem to get our mouths and our brains all warmed up, and then we'll start having a conversation where I'll ask you questions. The science of English. The production effect says that speaking English boosts your memory. Words that are spoken out loud are remembered significantly better, which means a lot better, than words that you just read silently or words that you just listen to. And why does it work? Well, they say that speaking activates more sensory and motor processes. You're seeing the word, you're hearing the word, and you're speaking the word. This richer experience creates better memory traces, which means your brain remembers it better. Now let's start speaking out loud with today's poem. It's called I Talk to Myself, and that's okay. I'll say the poem first, and then we can do it line by line where you repeat after me, and then we can say the whole thing together. I talk to myself when no one is near. Just speaking out loud helps make things more clear. My English gets stronger when I speak this way. When I talk out loud, I get better each day. There, I managed this time without too much trouble. Now let's say it line by line. You repeat after me. I talk to myself when no one is near. Just speaking out loud helps to make things more clear. My English gets stronger when I speak this way. When I talk out loud, I get better each day. There, that was good. Now let's say the whole thing together. Okay? I talk to myself when no one is near. Just speaking out loud helps to make things more clear. My English gets stronger when I speak this way. When I talk out loud, I get better each day. There you go. Good job. Now, hope you were speaking out loud and getting all warmed up because we're going to get into some questions now. We're going to start with some simple questions about where you live. Do you live in a house? You can say yes, or you can say no. Or you could say, yes, I live in a house, or no, I don't live in a house. I live in an apartment, or I live in a trailer, or I live on a boat, or I live at a cottage. So I'll ask you again, and you can answer. Do you live in a house? Nice. Now ask me, Leanne, do you live in a house? Actually, I live in a cottage. Right now, we're at our cottage, which is where we live in the summer. Is your home big? Now, before you answer that, when I say home, your home is the place that you live. It could be a house, a cottage, an apartment. Wherever you live, that's your home. So I'll ask you that. Is your home big? You can ask me, Leanne, is your home big? No, my home isn't big. I live in a small cottage. Now I'll ask you again, is your home big? There. Are you getting the hang of this? I hope so. Okay, one more simple question. You can answer yes or no, or if you feel comfortable, you can say a little more. Do you have your own room? Now, you can ask me that. Leanne, do you have your own room? No, I don't have my own room. I share my room with my husband. I'll ask you again now. Do you have your own room? All right, good job. We got through those simple questions. Now let's try some short answer questions. What kind of place do you live in? So you can answer with a short answer. Ask me first, Leanne, what kind of place do you live in? I live in a small cottage. So I'll ask you one more time. What kind of place do you live in? You could have different answers, I guess, depending where you live. I live in an apartment. I live in a dormitory at a school. I live in a cottage. I live on a boat. Lots of different places that you could live. Okay, let's move on. How many rooms are in your home? You might have to think about that and count them up first. How many rooms are in your home? Okay, now ask me that, Leanne. How many rooms are in your home? Now, I have to count them. There is our bedroom, a spare bedroom, a little den, living room, and the kitchen. So my home has 5 rooms plus a porch. How many rooms are in your home? Great. All right. Now, one more thing about your home. Who do you live with? Who lives with you in your home? Okay, now ask me. I hope I left you enough time. If I don't leave you enough time for the answers, just pause the video, say your answer out loud, and start the video again. Okay, ask me now. Leanne, who do you live with? I live with my husband, Peter. He's away right now, but he's getting back tomorrow. So you could say, you could live with, I guess you'd say who you live with, but you could live with your parents, you could live with your spouse, that would be your husband or your wife or your partner. You could live with your children, you could live with your sister or your brother or your cousins or your aunt and uncle. I'll ask you one more time, and maybe a lot of people live in your house. Who do you live with? Great. Okay, you're doing great. Do you have a favorite room in your house? Could be your bedroom or it could be the living room. I quite like the living room here and the porch when the weather's nice. So I'll ask you, do you have a favorite room in your house? You could simply answer yes or no, or you could tell me a little bit more which room it is and a little bit about that room. Actually, you ask me now. Say, Leanne, do you have a favorite room in your house? Well, my favorite room at the cottage here is the porch. We have a screened-in porch, and when the weather's nice, you can sit out there, and it's beautiful, and the bugs don't bother you. So I really like the screen porch. I'll ask you one more time. Do you have a favorite room in your house? And just tell me whatever you're comfortable, as much as you're comfortable saying. Do you have a favorite room in your house? Okay, good. Now let's go a little bit deeper. Tell me some of the things that are in your favorite room. Or if you don't have a favorite room, just pick a room and tell me some things that you have in your house. For example, it could be books, it could be a desk, it could be a comfortable chair or your cozy bed. Tell me some things that are in your house. Oh, nice. Okay, now ask me to tell you some things. Say, Leanne, tell me some things that are in your house. Okay, in my house, actually, right here, I have this really cool table, and I'll take a picture of it and put it up because it has a drawer in it, and it's a coffee table with a glass top, and it has a drawer in it, and you can put different things in there. And I've got pine cones and sea glass and corks and driftwood and starfish. So it's kind of a fun table that I have here in my living room. And let's see, what else do I have in my house? I have some big comfy chairs out in my porch. I don't know. Those are some of the things I have in my house. I'll ask you one more time. Tell me some of the things you have in your house. Good. So that's a great way to practice speaking English out loud with yourself, is to look around your house and describe things. I could say, there's a table over there. There's a sofa over there. There's a picture on the wall behind me. Just walk around and look at things and describe them. Instead of comprehensible input, you'll be giving output. And that's better for learning English. It gets your brain thinking and actually putting the sentences together and saying them. So you'll get more comfortable speaking. And then eventually, when you're speaking with someone, it will be more natural and it'll be easier for you. Now I want you to try speaking a little bit longer. So tell me about your house. Tell me some different things about your house, maybe who you live with, what you have in your house, what you like about your house. Okay, tell me about your house. And if you have to think a little longer, pause the video and think about it and try to tell me 3 or 4 things about your house. Okay, you can ask me now. Leanne, tell me about your home. My home is a cottage and I live here with my husband, but my grown children and my sister and other family members come to visit and friends come to visit. I have a big wooden table with 6 wooden chairs. I have a couple of love seats like this that I like to sit on that are comfortable. I have a great screened porch that we can sit out in the daytime or in the evenings and the bugs don't bother us. I really like this home. Now I'll ask you one more time. Tell me about your home. That's great. All right, you did it again. You spoke English out loud. And speaking English out loud helps you become more confident and comfortable speaking English. So I want you I want you to tell me what other things you'd like me to talk about, and I'll make more videos like this. I want to thank everyone who's been watching and commenting on my videos. I love to learn where you're from, so if you can comment where you're from, that's always fun. I've had people from Somalia and Thailand and all kinds of different places commenting, so it's fun for me. Okay, we'll see you in the next one.